What's up? This is Mark from Suicide Silence, and you are watching The Age of Metal.
Hello everyone, this is Miguel with the Heylmun, and I'm here with Mark of Suicide Silence. How you doing, man?
Very good, man. I'm enjoying this Arizona sunlight on my flesh.
So, you guys been on tour with Korn for, about a week and a half ago? A little bit more than that?
Yeah, it took over 2 weeks. I think like 23 days, maybe, if you're counting.
How has been the tour so far with them?
Fucking tour with Korn, man. I mean, it's every show is packed. Every show is, especially with this tour. I mean, it's like a nostalgic, 20th anniversary. Everybody's kind of there to relive some moments of the past, which is kind of cool. It's like this revisiting, a memory type show. So everything is reminiscent, and everyone's having a blast.
Now, how's been the experience of watching Korn play their debut album every night? Are you a Korn fan? Are you a Korn fan at some point?
I'm a huge Korn fan. I've always supported Korn and followed what they've been doing their whole career, just because Korn was one of the bands that I listened to before, when I just listened to music because it was what I wanted to hear. I wasn't influenced by anything. It was just like, I heard Korn and I liked it, and I listened to it as a kid, and it's just one of those bands that I really can't imagine not being influenced by. So watching them every night, it's cool to see them throw it down, and just like back to that reminiscent kind of thing. I can watch one of my favorite bands playing their first record ever 20 years later in front of all these people that are there to reminisce. It's just this amazing, flowing energy every night. It's rad.
Now, talking about the Suicide Silence setlist, how that looks like for this tour? Are you guys based more on the new album, more kind of like a mix of everything?
It's a mix of everything. We definitely put together a set specifically, as we always do for this tour. The real main thing that we did in this set was music. It's all music, and there's only one break for speaking or saying anything. We didn't want to be like run the show like it's our headlining show. We wanted to just go out and do our thing, play our songs, and say thank you to Korn for having us on the show and introduce who we are. But really, I think what has caught everybody's attention about this set is that it's constant music. There's not really any breaks. So that's what we're doing.
Gotcha. Yeah. Now, this Friday, Suicide Silence will be releasing an EP called Sacred Wars.
Yeah.
Is this material with this idea? Where the idea from releasing this EP came from?
The idea came from the fact that we just did a whole long 36-day tour in Europe, and we were going to be on this tour, and this is kind of a culmination of our album cycle, or whatever you want to call it, of You Can't Stop Me, and we recorded every single show we did in Europe, like multi-track. So we had that, and we were like, we want to put some of these tracks on some release, and we're going to be on this Korn tour. Let's put out a digital EP so that we could kind of keep this cycle going and kind of bring new life to it. And those live tracks are fucking awesome. They sound really, really good, and they've got that we were on tour for a goddamn 2 months in Europe, and this particular show that we took it from, we've been probably already played like 30 something shows, so we're all on fire on the recordings. It sounds awesome, and we just want to do something for the fans to have, while we're on this awesome tour. If we have the opportunity to release something, then we can, and that's why it's just digital. So you can get it online, and it's basically just a treat for the fans, based on the fact that we're in Europe, for the fans all over the world, but basically because we were on tour for so damn long, and we got all these live tracks, and Sacred Words is a 6th song, so we wanted to put it out.
Now, you're saying that you guys recorded all these shows in Europe.
Yeah.
That material will be materialized in some sort of DVD, download DVD or something like that?
We didn't record it with video. We recorded the audio multi-track pretty much every single show, because we just started traveling with our own front of house board, and it makes it easy to just record every show. But no, I mean, and if you only knew how much video, pictures, and recordings there are of us. I mean, we do it for ourselves. A lot of times you need releases. Like, we've been talking to Korn, like, just say something about Suicide Silence just for us, just for like 20 years from now when we're old, like, so there, I mean, who knows, there definitely will be a whole hell of a lot of content that will be released over time, because we film and record everything we do.
I understand that there's some extra tracks that they were not on the album. Those ones are kind of residual from the album, or they are like new material that is just dedicated for the EP?
The EP, the only thing that's different on the EP, that we put an instrumental version of Sacred Words, and then there's a remix version of it that's Ben Heylmun from Dillinger Escape Plan's remix of it. So those two aren't on the album, and then there's live tracks, which were just particularly good recordings that we liked, that captured the live energy that we thought was sick. So threw those on there too.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, it seems the fans have received quite well the news of Eddie being the new vocalist of Suicide Silence.
Mm-hmm.
It was something that at some point it worried you guys about, the reaction of the people, the reaction of the fan base.
I mean, when your fucking singer dies and you're making a decision like that, you kind of just don't really concern yourself with the negatives, and you just look forward to the fact that you're going to get on stage and you're going to play shows, and what's going to happen is what's going to happen. And no, there was never concerns. It was more like, yep, people are going to hate it, people are going to love it, and people are not going to give a shit. There's going to be a bunch of it. Every reaction you can imagine will happen. And if there isn't a reaction, we're doing something wrong.
Gotcha. Now, you were saying that this tour pretty much ends up the cycle of the new album. Now, does that mean that you guys are writing, or is it too soon?
We're always writing. It basically is the reaction of when we first decided to move forward with the band. The decision was to headline everything and play as many big festivals and get as many big shows as we could. Just because that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to either headline so that we could establish ourselves as Suicide Silence still with Eddie and with the new band basically. And then we never really expected to get a support tour, offer like this. So the fact that this kind of came along at this point, it just felt like a perfect time to say, all right, this Korn tour seems perfect, and a perfect way to really wrap up the fact that we have been supporting You Can't Stop Me in our own way by headlining and not going and getting any support tours. So the fact that this came along, it was just like, all right, let's go do this, and take off Christmas and get home and just continue the jam, continue the creative aspect of the band, because we've been on tour since January last year, pretty much nonstop. So we're pretty tour worn and ready just to put our minds to working on new music more so than just sporadically talking about it and jamming when we have time.
Well, it seems like the non-stop rising of Suicide Silence keep going with this tour. I remember last year you guys played at the Knot Fest in California.
Yeah, man, that's sick.
At any point have you thought about going out and tour with Slipknot?
I mean, it would be rad if we could. You know, Slipknot. Funny thing is when we first started touring and we first got our first booking agent, you know, our booking agent's like, who do you want to tour with? Give us a list of bands. And Slipknot and Korn were at the top, the two bands we wanted to tour with. And we did the Mayhem 2008 tour when Slipknot headlined, and that like set it off. You know, for me, I feel like that showed a lot of people who Suicide Silence was, and just like you said, it hasn't stopped. It's been going ever since then. And yeah, man, if we could tour with Slipknot, I mean, we'd be on it in a second. You know, that's like that. Slipknot and Korn are two of our favorite bands. You know, Lamb of God, love to tour with them. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a given. You know, who wouldn't want to tour with Slipknot?
Now, Mark, closing up, what is next for Suicide Silence for 2016? We're almost over this year.
Yeah.
You guys pretty much have a couple of dates. I think it's 4 or 5 dates more from this tour, and
Yep.
then you guys are out of that.
Yeah.
What is next for Suicide Silence for next year?
Next year, I mean, probably be getting in the jam room and throwing down some new tunes and recording some new ideas and really, you know, focusing on the music and not so much touring. You know, getting off the road for a minute and focusing on being creative and being the band that we are and not the working band that we are. You know. But yeah, I mean, there couldn't really be a better tour for us to use as an inspiring step forward. You know, just like you said, watching them play their first record in its entirety every night, it's been super inspiring, and we're really ready to get home for the holidays after this, do Thanksgiving and Christmas, and really just start hitting it as far as you know, writing goes.
Well, Mark, thank you very much. Definitely looking forward for you guys tonight. Definitely looking forward for the new songs of the new album, and probably you guys playing Sacred Words. Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. Cool.